to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
So, mindset, I'm a little confused here, bruh.
Yeah?
The story is about weapons?
Oh, no, man. No.
What's the song then?
Oh, that song right there.
Song title?
Oh, must be the music, man.
I hear it, but what's the story about?
You can't hear me? I said it must be the music.
I know, it's in the background. I'm talking about the title of the story tonight.
Must be the music.
Bro, if you can't hear me...
No, not the music back there, man. We're talking about a song back in the day done by a group called Secret Weapon called Must Be the Music. Man, let me tell you something what. That song doesn't get the credit that it deserves, but that was one of the hottest dance songs back in the 80s. And we're going to take a trip down memory lane and figure out how that song got through and why it kind of lost power along the way, but then eventually made a return. Hey, y'all hanging there. This is something to learn right here. I know that song is hot. You should know that song is hot. Let's learn a little bit about the group, Secret Weapon.
Yeah, my people, flashing lights, moving to the beat, mirrored walls and fog at your feet. I'm just a DJ, baby, mixing for you. I will not stop until this club night is through. Now that was the lead in lyrics and the Secret Weapon, and it was also the name of the group that put out a hit that the world is sometimes acting like it forgot. But here on the Music Mindset channel, we ain't trying to forget nothing from the past, especially that disco funk that was a big part of our lives as we went through growing pains back in the day as kids. How about you? To understand where this magic came from, we have to go back to New York. New York in the late 1970s and early 1980s. While a lot of people were saying disco was dead, the streets knew better. It was not dead, it was changing. It was becoming tougher, slicker, heavier, and more rhythmic. What many now call post-disco, boogie, or funk was taking shape right there in the clubs, roller rinks, radio mix shows, and late-night parties. That was the world Jerome Prister was living in when he put together a group that would become Secret Weapon. Jerome was the heartbeat of the operation, a talented brother who played the bass and handled vocals, and he knew how to gather the right people around him. He brought in Duana DJ Thomas and Michelle Blackman on vocals, and they added flavor, style, and presence to the sound. Then came Kevin Walker on keyboards, Russell Thomas on lead guitar, Jeff Bell on rhythm guitar, Ricky Page on drums, and Darren Stewart on percussion. They caught the attention of Prelude Records, one of the hottest labels for that New York dance sound at the time. This was not just another group trying to get on. This was a collective of working musicians who understood that the dance floor could be therapy for people carrying the weight of everyday life. Some people didn't care about the stigma and went to a therapist. Some went to church on Sunday to find hope, but there were some people who went to the club on Friday night trying to take the weight off their minds with the groove after surviving another week. So at the time, the music industry was grinding, trying to create the next record that could change everything for those looking for the party. And a certain spark arrived in the early 1980s. Duana DJ Thomas and Michelle Blackman are the ladies heard on this track, but Duana served as the lead, delivering the prominent and powerful vocal style being heard. This emotive delivery helped the single reach number 24 on Billboard's R&B chart in 1982. Michelle Blackman did backup, but she did more than sing on the track. She helped write the lyrics to the song that would become their signature statement. Sadly, she passed away in 2014 at 57 years old. But what she left us was her voice and legacy permanently imprinted in wax. We are talking about Must Be the Music. The beauty of the song was that it did not try too hard. It felt natural, conversational, and real. It captured that feeling of being fed up with problems and ready to step into the club and let the groove wash all of that away.
My voice is on, so let me MC.
Man, Jerome Priester just sounded so cool and confident with that sing-rap style he was bringing. The whole vibe of his voice gave the record swagger, muscle, bounce, and attitude. Must Be the Music was one of those grooves that entered the room before the singer even had to. The hook was simple but powerful because everybody in the building understood what it meant. Sometimes it really must be the music, because even when the intro kicked in, cats started running to find a dance partner, trying to make sure they wouldn't be the simp standing on the side of the wall, playing it off, while one of the hottest jams of the night was rattling the windows of the house. At the club, drinks got raised, shoulders got loose, and people forgot what they were worried about for a little while, and that is what made the record special. It was a song about the power of music itself. Man, keeping it real, sometimes rhythm really is medicine, and the right groove can rescue your whole mood. Yeah, my people, I remember this song as a kid, when I was just starting to learn about music in school, but stuff like this song kept coming on the radio, and my mind was blown. I wanted to know how the heck that stuff was put together, and as time went on, I eventually learned and then created my own jams. But let me tell you kind of how I developed listening skills for the funky stuff. I trained myself to listen for the individual parts and what each man was doing in a song. I'd press play on my cassette player, listen for an instrument, rewind, listen again for another one, and do that for each instrument I heard until I understood what they were doing. Along with learning to read some music in school, I developed an ear at the same time at the house. Hey, let's pop the hood to this funky Corvette so you can see what I mean right quick about listening and hear exactly what they were doing on Must Be the Music. Start with that bass guitar because he is the boss of the band and of this song here. Without his part, you can unplug the turntables and go to the house. Now you gotta understand, he is just doing some basic 16th note syncopation patterns, slapping and plucking like he's been dared to do it by Mark Adams. Yeah, you bet Priester had heard some slave, who hadn't by the early 80s, because everybody was copying Mark's style. And Jerome was bringing that same kind of funk to this song too. But Jerome couldn't hold his pocket down by himself. He had to stay glued to the kick drum of Ricky Page. And remember now, this ain't just somebody pushing a button on a drum machine. Dude manhandled the drums here, keeping perfect timing, laying down the rhythmic foundation that propelled Secret Weapon's track to the urban club history books. And props to Darren Stewart, can't leave him out, because he added some creative and innovative percussion parts, incorporating congas, timbales, shakers, tempo blocks, and other accents that infused the track with a lively party atmosphere. And then we have that lead rhythm guitar that Russell Thomas and Jeff Bell contributed. Most people don't notice the guitar parts being in there in the song until you break it down. It's one of those things where you feel the parts more than you actually hear them, but if you take them out, you know they're missing. Man, this fella played that part like he was Catfish Collins after 13 cups of coffee. I took it too far, didn't I? Yeah, I know. While they were chanking on the guitar, you heard underneath the groove Kevin Walker smoothing it out on the keyboards, providing instrumental arrangements that formed the melodic backbone of the band's tracks, including strings, synth-driven riffs, and chord progressions inspired, again I say, by contemporaries like Slave. And we finish up with coming back to Jerome Priester on vocals with his ladies in the background.
Flashing lights, moving through the beat, mirrored walls and fog at your feet.
Yeah, man, this brother could flow probably better than he could croon. I call it sing rap style. Now, remember, at the time, rap was still new and only a year or two old, so everybody was still trying to sound like the Sugar Hill Gang. But add that with Dewana and Michelle.
Must be the music. I cannot go wrong with it.
I'll keep it hard till the daylight.
Yes, I will.
I'll keep you moving all through the night.
I will.
Home slice. Nobody had this disco funk boogie groove these cats captured in the song right here. If you don't know, you better pull up the whole song and get your education furthered slick.
I said dance, everybody, just clap your hands. I said we're here to do what we want to do for all you rockin' fans.
Yeah, pretty tame these days, but at the time, that rap was just as hot as Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang. For a moment, Secret Weapon had captured the spirit of the New York night. They had a record that belonged to workers, dancers, dreamers, and everybody trying to shake off stress for a few hours. They were winners now. Known for creating a groove people could feel from the first note, they tried to keep that momentum rolling in 1983 with the single, DJ Man. It reached number 73 on the R&B chart. It did not hit like Must Be the Music, but it showed they were still fighting to stay in the game during a fast-changing era. During that period, the lineup saw changes, and Roy Skip Snyder came in as a lead vocalist. Even with success, the group was relatively short-lived. By the middle of the 1980s, members began taking their own paths as the industry shifted once again. New sounds were coming in, new styles were taking over, and many solid groups got caught in that changing tide. But Jerome Prister was not ready to let it go. He went and formed an offshoot group called Output and gave us Move For Me in 1984, which reached number 88 on the R&B chart. He kept the flame burning in 1988 and 1989, releasing solo work and a studio album under the name Jerome Secret Weapon Priester. His single, Say You'll Be, also made a brief chart appearance. Jerome was clearly the keeper of the groove, still trying to feed the people who never wanted to stop dancing. And then you had Deion Sanders popping up and trying to keep the same groove going when this star football player jumped in the music game and showcased his swag using Secret Weapon's hit as a backdrop.
Flashing lights on the dance floor.
It was December 1994 when he famously bit the Secret Weapon groove for his single, Must Be the Money. While Sanders' debut album, Primetime, only reached number 70 on the Billboard R&B charts, the song became a massive cultural staple on video request channels. That effectively turned Secret Weapon's post-disco hook into the definitive anthem of 90s sports swagger. But life can take people in surprising directions once the spotlight cools off. Most of the band went on to other music endeavors and working with other people in the industry. But tragedy became part of the story too because sadly, Jerome Priester, the big boss, passed away in 2007 after suffering a stroke. He was the anchor of the group, the engine behind that breakthrough moment, and the man who helped create a record that outlived the era that birthed it. Michelle Blackmon, the woman who helped write the hook to Must Be the Music, took a very different career path. She went to work at a correctional facility, helping manage inmates. Yet she never lost her music spirit. She kept performing and entertaining on the side right up until her final days in late 2014, as we said earlier. And we cannot forget Dwana DJ Thomas, who stayed close to the business. In Atlanta, Georgia, many got to know her as a radio personality on WRDA for a while. She turned her love of music into a platform where she could keep sharing songs and energy with listeners every day. That is something people do not always think about, how artists sometimes have to find other lanes when things slow down or end in the music business, just to keep paying the bills. But even after the ending of the original band and passing of prominent band members, their music legacy kept moving forward. DJ Dave Lee, also known as Joey Negro, sampled those famous Must Be the Music lyrics and brought in Taka Boom, sister of Chaka Khan, for a house version that reached number 8 on the UK chart. That revival proved something powerful. Those words Michelle Blackmon helped write were timeless. Whether it is the original funk version or later remixes and sample use, people still use those lyrics like a mantra on dance floors around the world. It is a song about songs and music. A tribute to the frequency that makes us feel alive, and as we look back, the legacy of Secret Weapon is secure. They were New York musicians who captured a moment in time and turned it into a feeling that still lives today. You already know what it is. It must be the music.
Yeah, man. Secret Weapon, you know what I mean? Jerome Prister and those girls, man, they did their thing, man. And not too many people can top what they try to do. Hey, it was short-lived, but it lived long enough to be part of my childhood and my youth when I was just learning music. a hot song, man. Hey guys, I hope y'all appreciate this type of stuff on the Music Mindset channel. And stay tuned and come back and see what we're going to be doing next time. Because we're always going to be exploring the songs that most people forgot. Hey, we ain't kidding about this new stuff as much as we did the old stuff.